The St. Louis Post-Dispatch editorial page welcomes St. Louis Circuit Attorney Jennifer Joyce to the platform.
The city of St. Louis is similar to any dense urban area in the country in that it's a tough jurisdiction to get convictions in criminal cases. It's tougher than a suburban jurisdiction or a rural jurisdiction. But on the whole, if you aggregate the jury population of the city of St. Louis, you would find a higher level of distrust for law enforcement than you would in outstate Missouri. Dramatically lower than outstate Missouri, right, and fairly lower than in St. Louis County. To a certain extent, there's nothing that can be done to offset it. You know, the jurors that we work with in the city of St. Louis have, you know, they're not irrational. I mean, they have their life experiences and their opinions and their attitudes that they draw from that, and you know, that's who they are, and that's who we work for. So it's not like we're trying to offset their beliefs. I think that St. Louis is a very racially divided city, and I would say before I became a prosecutor, and I lived in the city of St. Louis for 32 years before I became a prosecutor, if you would have asked me if St. Louis was a racially divided city, I would have said, well, maybe in the past, but not so much anymore. I think the criminal justice system is really at the epicenter of a lot of racial unrest in the country as a whole. And so we do tend to have a front row seat for a lot of those tensions and issues. You know, I have a gentleman who's coming to meet with me on Friday who wants to talk with me because he believes I made a decision in a case based on his race, when in fact I didn't even know what his race was when I made the decision in the case. But he has that belief, and I'm going to sit down and talk with him. I don't know if I'm going to be able to dissuade him from that belief, but he is very adamant in that belief, even coming into the conversation. And that is something that we see a lot. And I don't know what the answer to it is. And it's discouraging. It's very discouraging sometimes. I see it as a huge problem in St. Louis that we have to find a way as a city to overcome. I just would like to see people focus more on what they could be doing, how they could be a part of the solution. That sounds corny, but you know, we can spot a kid in 4th or 5th grade, and I bet you their teacher can guarantee you that child is going to graduate or that child is not going to graduate. That child's going to get into trouble with the law or they're not. I mean, the teachers know that. Attendance records can show that. You know, there's all kinds of early warning signs and indicators for these kids. And it's almost like watching a movie where you can see the train coming down the track, and sure enough, you know, it runs over the person. You know, you can just see it happening, and I don't understand why there's not more, you know, effort on society to try and intervene earlier on with people.